I'm John Schrott, and this is On the Spot. Today we're going to be talking with one of our architects, Brian Karcher. Brian has an incredible passion to increase efficiency of production without sacrificing any of the quality of our documents. And I know, Brian, you're always pushing me and you're pushing other people in the firm to be more efficient. Why is that so important?
I think, in this line of work, we can get bogged down with getting really into the nitty-gritty details of things, which is very important, but it also takes a lot of time. And to be more productive in an efficient manner not only is good for the project, but good for morale of the project team. So it kind of helps everybody.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because I didn't even think about that. Good for the morale of the team. Explain that a little bit more.
Well, if you're able to, accomplish a detail that is similar across the entire building, and you do it once rather than multiple times, you're able to accomplish a task much quicker. And if that, detail needs to be adjusted in the future, it's, again, one and done, and you don't have to kind of go through the multiple details.
Interesting.
So it's a more efficient method. You can feel accomplished by completing a task way faster. So
yeah, kind of just a sense of personal satisfaction, right?
Yeah.
So obviously we draw everything electronically. We're drawing in 3 dimensions right now all the time. Is technology helping us to find new efficient ways to do things?
So the growth of technology is like a two-edged sword in my mind. The presence of it makes things much easier to accomplish larger scale projects, again, to those nitty-gritty details. However, with that comes the expectation of an overly detailed model that can be shared with whether it's the client or it's the consultants. There's so much information now that gets packed into it, which actually becomes more stressful. So it's actually like taking that technology, pairing it back, and utilizing it for these efficient methods so that we can, use it in a way that benefits us rather than playing catch up to it.
So I guess it's really to understand the technology.
Yes.
And leverage it for each particular case, right? Because
Absolutely.
Each case is a little bit different, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's growing at an exponential pace. Our minds don't do that
Oh,
necessarily.
that's fascinating, yeah. Well, so where do you think technology is moving? Where's it going to go next?
I think it's just going to keep growing at such a pace where we can't keep up. I think it's going to be something that if you have a passion in one technology over another, that the focus might need to be directed towards the more specifics, because if you try to grasp all of it at once, you're not going to understand it fully. So I think it's understanding who understands what technology and how to leverage it the best way possible, because it's so much information.
Right. Well, and one of the recent advances, I guess, is that everything's up on the cloud, right? Mm-hmm. So we and our consultants are working real time in the model, right? And so how has that benefited you personally?
That's been amazing because then we don't have to share models, and then there's no gap in that the model delays of a consultant working on something and then us receiving it, say, a week or 2 later, and then kind of figuring out what was changed. Everything's changed on the spot. We can see real time what has been changed, who has changed it. So it just allows for the project to move forward without those complications that can slow it down.
Yeah. So do you think the end user is ever going to get up to speed to utilize the strength and the data that goes into a construction model?
So like a BIM model, like
yes,
actually receiving the model.
Right.
That's kind of where that technology is taking us to, where we almost turn over that model and it can be constructed from that model,
yeah.
which is a scary thing from a legal standpoint, right? Because you're then saying that this is almost perfectly built in a virtual environment. I think there's so much that every consultant, every client is going to be different in how they respond to that technology, if they understand it fully, or if how we use it, will they understand it? There's a lot of variables still up in the air. I would think that it would need to, again, get simplified to for everyone to understand.
Yeah. So that's an interesting thought, and we'll just have to wait and see, right?
Yep.
Every day something new with technology. So
Yes.
thanks for being on the spot, Brian.
Sure.
Until next time.